Hello, my name is Dr. Martina Kambulu Ebisagawa.
And I'm Dr. Lori Wensley.
Welcome to our virtual presentation on the theory and teaching methods of the e-Karate program, an inclusive community sports program. Thank you to the Asian Conference on Education in Osaka, Japan for allowing us to present today. My colleague and I will present the teaching methods of inclusion and the founding values of altruism, respect for others, and child development within the community that created the e-Karate sports program, as well as our research findings that give evidence of how effective this program is for all involved. We will begin by highlighting the research questions, literature review, and methodology. We will discuss the founding values of theory of Vygotsky, Bandura, and Rogers, as these are the core theories associated with this research effort that informs the teaching methods, and then we will end the discussion of our research. Then you will see an actual video from a community e-Karate class for children of all ages and levels of physical, motoric, social, and cognitive development from typical developing to children with special needs. And you will hear from an e-Karate sensei talking about their development and their progress. Before I embark on the literature review and the research questions, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the e-programs. The e-programs are inclusive sports programs where typical and special needs children participate alongside each other. First, the E stands for exceptional. They believe all children have exceptional potential and simply need the proper resources and environment to tap into their nurture their unique abilities. As well, the E stands for education. All of the E programs really focus on being innovative, adapting, and really progressing to really help children with special needs. They began with an e-soccer program in the year 2000 and have now branched to a global program which can be found in various countries including Kenya, India, and parts of the United States. If you want more information, you can go to www.bacc.cc. The research question that we looked at in this qualitative study included what are the underlying principles in theory of the e-Karate curriculum and foundations. We conducted a literature review and looked at the following topics, including karate and inclusion, family development and the martial arts, sports and social inclusion, the social system of special needs education, and altruism and volunteerism.
That's true. In fact, it seems altruism also implies respect for others. And this is part of social learning of Bandura and also how you learn with Vygotsky. They certainly have something to say about this. So I'd like to discuss some of the underlying theory regarding altruism and e-Karate. So Bandura has the idea of social learning, that there's stages of learning, that there's a way in which people learn how to do something. But it's not just one part, it's the social part. So yes, children are learning the kata, and the movement, but they're also learning how to be themselves, how to be social with each other. And that's as important in this class as the actual learning of the kata. So everything is set up so that they can be included and also be interactive with each other as peers, to their senseis, to the coaches, to their parents. It all centers around that ability to be social, but at the same time to be learning something, to be open to that learning. And so Vygotsky has the idea of scaffolding, and scaffolding has a way or a process of getting from this person who doesn't know how to do it to the person who can do it through a series of small steps that help or support the learning, so that as the child, say, couldn't walk upstairs, one of the children in the study couldn't walk upstairs when they first began karate, and now they can walk up the stairs because that sense of being able to move from one place to another, being strong enough, being sure of oneself, all of these things go into that movement of walking upstairs, or downstairs for that matter. And so Vygotsky and Bandura talk about how theory describes this place that's implemented in e-karate.
Excellent. I like the way you put that. But Lori, tell me, isn't Rogers' research about therapeutic effect of the relationship also part of this picture?
Yes, it is. Rogers studied how qualities of client-therapist relationships were effective in promoting emotional and social improvements in a person's well-being. The qualities he found were basic qualities, such as unconditional positive regard, active listening, and openness to learning. Similarly, these same qualities can be found in student-teacher relationships. Rogers talks about them in several of his books. He has 16 of them, in fact, on psychotherapy. One was called Freedom to Learn. Carl Rogers applied his experiences with adult therapy to the educational process and developed the concept of a learner-centered teaching. He had the following 5 hypotheses regarding learner-centered education. 1. A person cannot teach another person directly. A person can only facilitate another's learning. So here, each person reacts and responds. The students come in with their own perceptions and experiences, such as we're talking about a child with autism. They might perceive things differently. So they come in with that sense of experience and perception. And Rogers says that in this hypothesis, that the background and experiences of the learner are essential to how and what is learned. So taking that into account, e-karate really takes that into account, so they can see what the child comes in with, maybe an experience that, oh no, I can't be a leader, oh no, I can't learn, oh no, I'm not included, and then they learn that they can be included, they can be a leader, they can really learn something that they didn't know before about themselves and about karate. Then the second hypothesis is a person learns significantly only those things that are perceived as being involved in the maintenance of or enhancement of the structure of self. So this again is the sense that students' experiences become the core of the course. And so it's essential for them to become themselves. The next one is experience, which, if assimilated, that means being taken in and understood, would involve a change in the organization of self. And it tends to be resisted either through denial or a distortion of symbolism. So something like, oh no, I can't do that, or oh, that's not something I will ever be able to do. And like maybe the child was told that she'd never walk upstairs. So she believes that, right? But through karate, there's this openness to learning and this acceptance that maybe, even though it's hard, you'll be able to do it.